Yeah, look at this. So this is, it looks like you're doing a little bit of local history and Massachusetts history. I can see by the books on your desk. That's excellent. That's excellent. Well, thanks for having me today. I'm a lucky guy. This is the best part of my job. I get to read to you guys.
I don't know. I think we think we're lucky.
No, I'm the lucky one here. I'm the lucky one.
Alrighty.
So,
We thought you would sit here and we would
yeah.
around you. Is that okay?
Yeah, we can read through the book and then we can chit chat for a while. So I can catch up and find out how you guys are doing. What do you think? Sound like a plan?
Sounds like
Yeah?
a great plan.
All right. So here we go. Now, you guys remember that Dr. Seuss likes rhyming, right? So there's a lot of rhyming in here. Okay, here we go. Sighed Maisie, a lazy bird hatching an egg. I'm tired and I'm bored, and I've kinks in my leg. From just sitting here day after day, it's work. How I hate it. I'd much rather play. I take a vacation, fly off for a rest. If I could find someone to stay on my nest, if I could find someone, I'd fly away free. So there she is. Then Horton, the elephant, passed by her tree. Hello, called the lazy bird, smiling her best. You've nothing to do, and I do need a rest. Would you like to sit on my egg in my nest? The elephant laughed. Why, of all silly things, I haven't feathers and I haven't wings. Me on your egg? Why, that doesn't make sense. Your egg is so small, ma'am, and I'm so immense. What does immense mean?
Immense means big.
Yep, you got it. Tut, tut, answered Maisie. I know you're not small, but I'm sure you can do it. I'm sure you can do it, no trouble at all. Just sit on it softly, you're gentle and kind. Come, be a good fellow. I know you won't mind. I can't, said the elephant. Please, begged the bird. I won't be gone long, sir. I give you my word. I'll hurry right back. Why, I'll never be missed. Very well, said the elephant, since you insist. You want a vacation, go fly off and take it. I'll sit on your egg and try not to break it. I'll stay and be faithful. I mean what I say. Toodaloo, sang Maisie and fluttered away. Boy, this is going to get interesting. Okay. The first thing to do, murmured Horton. Let's see. The first thing to do is to prop up this tree and make it stronger. That has to be done. Before I get on it, I must weigh a ton. Pretty heavy. Then carefully, tenderly, gently he crept up the trunk to the nest where the little egg slept. Look at that. That was pretty smart of him to prop up the tree, don't you think? Then Horton the elephant smiled. Now that's that. And he sat, and he sat, and he sat, and he sat. And he sat all that day, and he kept the egg warm, and he sat all that night through a terrible storm. It poured and it lightened, it thundered and rumbled. This isn't much fun, the poor elephant grumbled. I wish he'd come back, because I'm cold and wet. I hope that Maisie bird doesn't forget. I hope he gets paid a lot for all this work. But Maisie, by this time, was far beyond reach, enjoying the sunshine way off in Palm Beach. Where's Palm Beach? Anybody know? Go ahead. Exactly. And having such fun, such a wonderful rest, decided she'd never go back to her nest. Well, she's breaking her promise now, huh? So Horton kept sitting there day after day, and soon it was autumn, the leaves blew away. And then came the winter, the snow and the sleet, and icicles hung from his trunk and his feet. But Horton kept sitting and said with a sneeze, I'll stay on this egg and I won't let it freeze. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%. So he's keeping his end of the bargain.
But the bird is.
The bird isn't, exactly. So poor Horton sat there the whole winter through, and then came the springtime with troubles anew. His friends gathered round, and they shouted with glee, "Look, Horton the elephant's up in a tree." They taunted, they teased him, they yelled, "How absurd! Old Horton the elephant thinks he's a bird." But he's hanging in there, right? They laughed, and they all ran away. And Horton was lonely. He wanted to play. But he sat on the egg and continued to say, "I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%. No matter what happens, this egg must be tended. But poor Horton's troubles were far, far from ended. For while Horton sat there, so faithful and so kind, 3 hunters came sneaking up softly behind. There they are. He heard the men's footsteps. He turned with a start. 3 rifles were aiming right straight for his heart. Poor guy, poor elephant. Did he run? He did not. Horton stayed on that nest. He held his head high and he threw out his chest. He looked at the hunters and much as to say, "Shoot if you must, but I won't run away. I meant what I said and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%. But the men didn't shoot. Much to Horton's surprise, they dropped their 3 guns and they stared with their wide eyes. "Look," they all shouted, "can such a thing be? An elephant sitting on top of a tree? It's strange, it's amazing, it's wonderful, new. Don't shoot him, we'll catch him. That's just what we'll do. Let's take him alive. Why, he's terribly funny. We'll sell him back home to a circus for money." And the first thing he knew, they had built a big wagon with ropes on the front for the pullers to drag on. They dug up his tree and they put it inside, with Horton so sad he practically cried. "We're off," the men shouted, and off they all went, with Horton unhappy 100%. Up out of the jungle, up into the sky, over the mountains, 10,000 feet high. Then down the mountains, and down to the sea went the cart with the elephant, egg, nest, and tree. Then out of the wagon and onto a ship, out over the ocean, and ooh, what a trip. Rolling and tossing and splashed with the spray, and Horton said, "Day after day after day, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant, but oh, I am seasick 100%. He's still sitting on the tree on the boat. And he's still in the tree. After bobbing around for 2 weeks like a cork, they landed at last in the town of New York. "All ashore," the men shouted, and down with a lurch went Horton the elephant, still on his perch, tied onto a board that could just scarcely hold him. Bump, Horton landed, and then the men sold him. Boy. Sold to a circus, then week after week, they showed him to people at 10 cents a peek. They took him to Boston, to Kalamazoo, Chicago, Weehawken, and Washington too, to Dayton, Ohio, St. Paul, Minnesota, to Wichita, Kansas, to Drake, North Dakota, and everywhere thousands of folks flocked to see and laugh at the elephant up in the tree. Poor Horton grew sadder the farther he went, but he said, as he sat in the hot, noisy tent, "I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%. So he's hanging in there, despite it all, guys. Then, one day, the circus show happened to reach a town way down south, not far from Palm Beach, and dawdling along way up high in the sky, who, of all people, should chance to fly by, but that old good-for-nothing bird, Runaway Maisie, still on vacation, still just as lazy. And spying the flags and the tents just below, he sat down. He sang out, "What fun! Why, I'll go for the show." And he swooped from the clouds and through an open tent door. Good gracious, gasped Maisie. I've seen you before. Poor Horton looked up with his face white as chalk. He started to speak, but before he could talk, he's pretty shocked right now, isn't he? There sang out the noisiest ear-splitting squeaks from the egg that he sat on for 51 weeks. A thumping, a bumping, a wild, alive scratching. My egg, shouted Horton. My egg, why, it's hatching. Took a long time. But it's mine, screamed the bird when she heard the egg crack. The work was all done. Now she wanted it back. It's my egg, she sputtered. You stole it from me. Get off of my nest and get out of my tree. Poor Horton backed down with a sad, heavy heart. But at that very instant, the egg burst apart. And out of the pieces of red and white shell from the egg he'd sat on for so long and so well, Horton the elephant saw something whiz. And it had ears and a tail and a trunk just like his. Can you believe it? Look at that. That's not what I expected. And the people came shouting, what's all this about? They looked and they stared with their eyes popping out. Then they cheered and they cheered and they cheered more and more. They'd never seen anything like it before. My goodness, my gracious, they shouted, my word. It's something brand new. It's an elephant bird. And it should be, and it should be, and it should be like that because Horton was faithful. And he sat and he sat. He meant what he said and he said what he meant. And they sent him home happy 100%. The end. What do you think, guys? You know something? I don't think I had ever read that story before. It's good. You know, I have a new affection for Dr. Seuss now. This is good. I think they should make a movie out of it. Has a movie been made out of that one? Do we know? No? There's some Horton movies, right? There's been a couple.
Horton Hears a Who maybe.
Horton Hears a Who. Yep.
Yeah, and there's some. What's that movie? It's the Grinch that stole Christmas.
Right, there's another one, yeah. Yep.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
The Lorax, right?
Yes.
Right, that's one. That was made into a movie. How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah.
That's one.
Horton Hears a Who.
And Horton Hears a Who. I think those have all been made into movies. So pretty good story. So he hung in there. He kept his end of the bargain. He kept his promise, right? That's big. That's real big. Even when it was very hard, right? Yeah. No, that's a good thing. That's a good thing for everybody to learn, right? All right. So you guys have some questions or comments. I'll take them all. Go ahead. We haven't called on you yet. Go ahead.
So in the story, the bird said he was gonna make a promise to the elephant.
Yeah.
But he didn't he didn't keep his promise.
Yep.
And the elephant was just waiting there, sitting on the egg.
Yeah. The bird didn't keep his promise, which is not good, right? You got to keep your promises. Go ahead, dear.
And the bird said that he was gonna keep a promise to the elephant, but he didn't come back to his house.
Yeah. No, the elephant's the hero of the story, isn't he? Isn't he the hero of the story? All right. Who haven't I called on? All right. Go ahead.
So now, what's his name? The elephant?
What? Do you remember his name? Horton. 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 Yep.
So now he has a elephant bird kid.
Yes, he does. What do you do with an elephant bird kid? Where does an elephant bird kid go to school? How big are they going to get? Anybody tell me, what do you think? If there was a sequel to this story, how big would the elephant bird get? Somebody tell me. Go ahead, Superman.
45 feet.
About 45 feet? Well, how much would he weigh? Or she? Is it a boy or a girl?
I think it's a boy.
You think it's a boy? Anybody else? Anybody disagree? How about how big would the elephant bird get? What do you think? Give or take. 45 feet long, and how much would it weigh? Well, Horton said he's a ton, right? How much is a ton? You know how much a ton is? Anybody know? A ton. Go ahead. Do you know how much a ton is? Yeah.
20,000 pounds?
Well, that's a good guess. That's a good guess. It's 2,000 pounds. 2,000 pounds. So that'd be pretty big. That'd be pretty big. All right. So 2,000 pounds. So it probably couldn't live in a nest, right? No, no. And you know, you think its wings would have to grow really big too, right? Because the wings would have to be big to propel. About how big would the wings be? Anybody? Tell me. Somebody tell me. Go ahead. Probably something big. 200 feet. Yeah, they'd have to be real big. And what would an animal like that eat? Elephant food or bird food?
Both.
Both? A little bit of both? Okay.
Mix it together.
Both mixed together? Yeah. Yep. All right. Mixed up. That doesn't sound like it'd be very tasty. Not to me. No. So listen, guys. So tell me a little bit about what you're learning in school. What's happening? Who wants to tell me? Go ahead, dear. Yeah. What are you learning in math? Multiplication and division. Yeah, that's what you learn in third grade, right? Yes. Yeah. And you guys are learning your multiplication tables? Yeah?
Yeah.
Go ahead. What else?
I would like to add to what Rihanna said because, like, in math, we're learning how to add 4 and 3 numbers.
Yep. Yeah. So not. And what's the other one? Tell me what's regrouping. I'm putting you on the spot. Tell me what regrouping is.
Like, say, like, 9 plus 9 is 18.
Yep.
Like, say if you had 99 plus 99.
Yep.
Like, if you go into ones place, 9 plus 9 is 18, but
Yep.
like you can't put the 1 inside the ones place, it has to go in the tens place.
Yep.
So then you regroup.
Okay. All right. Excellent. You guys are on it. All right. Who haven't I called on yet? Anybody? Anybody? Raise those hands. What else are you guys learning?
We learned about our Massachusetts, our home. And
Yeah.
This is we learned about history.
Now, let me ask you something about that. Is there anything in New Bedford in there?
Yes.
All right, tell me what you've learned about New Bedford. All right, go ahead.
The Pilgrims and the Wampanoags.
Yeah, well, they were in Plymouth, right? The Wampanoags and the Pilgrim. What's in there about New Bedford? Anybody? Go ahead, pal.
The
The Revolution's in there in Massachusetts, yeah.
Revolutionary War.
The Revolutionary War, okay. About anything in New Bedford at all in there? The whaling, is there anything about whaling in there?
We haven't got to that.
Oh, we haven't gotten to that. Okay, all right. So that
To, like,
comes up later.
Yeah, it comes up later.
All right. So lots of good, rich history in Massachusetts, right? Lots of good history. All right. What else?
We've been starting to learn how to do science.
Tell me about that.
Like over there you can't really see it, but we made like weather in a cup.
What kind of weather did you make? I hope it was sunshine, like Palm Beach. Remember the bird went to Palm Beach? No? Not like Palm Beach? No?
The water cycle. The water cycle.
Oh, the water cycle. Water cycle. Wow, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. Who can explain to me real quick what the water cycle is? Who haven't I called on yet? Go ahead, dear. You've been holding.
The water cycle with clouds.
Mm-hmm.
And on the project we had like this red food coloring, and we put it in the clouds, and it really wasn't clouds, it was shaving cream, and we put the food coloring on top of the shaving cream, and we had to sit there for like 2 or 3 minutes to wait until it goes down, and when it went down, the water turned red.
Oh, wow, yeah. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Go ahead, dear. You haven't called on you yet.
I would like to add to her because, like, once there's too much, like, I think it was oil, that it would start to rain because they couldn't hold too much oil.
Yeah, that's a great point. All right, what do you got, Superman? Tell me.
We also learn about rocks that sometimes they shine through, sometimes not.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes they're different colors,
Yeah.
like gold, diamond.
What's that called when they shine a little bit? Do you know?
I don't know.
Remember what it is? Do you know what it is?
It's I can't remember.
Do you guys remember? Go ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
Transfer it.
Well, it's translucent, right? Is when you can see when light can pass through it. So trans means so you can break. Think about the word. Lots of words you can break their meanings down. Trans means across, and lucent means light. So it means that light can pass right through the material. All right, what do you got?
Sunlight, like when you put the
Mhm.
rock on top of there and you have a like glass thing that you see through and
Mhm.
it gets blurry, you put it up to the light and it shines.
And it shines. What's that called? What's that called? Go ahead. Is it called luminescence? Is that what it's
And
called?
well, I think they were trying to say they were using the,
Magnifying glass. I got it. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. What do you have?
Before you worked as a mayor, what did you do before?
Great question. Before I was mayor, I was what's called a federal prosecutor. So a prosecutor is somebody who helps enforce the law, and there are prosecutors who work for the state government, so for Massachusetts, and then there are some who work for the United States government. That's the kind that I was. Yep. So that's what I did, and my work was up in Boston, so I drove from here to Boston every day, which is a long way. All right, let's see. Who haven't I called on yet? Yeah, some of you guys have really tired arms right now. Must be really tired. All right, go ahead, pal.
Do you ever make up any laws?
So in general, no. So at every level of government, it's the legislative branch that makes the laws. So at the national level, right, American level, what's the name of the legislature? Anybody know?
Where the government like spies on people that be bad.
No. The national legislature is called Congress, right? Has anybody heard of Congress? No. Right? Congress? Congress is made up of people who represent districts all around, represent people from all around the country, and they're the ones that make the laws. And at the state level in Massachusetts, there's the Massachusetts legislature that passes laws, and at the city level, it's the city council that passes what are called ordinances, and that's the city law. So the city council actually makes the laws, and it's my job to make sure they're implemented. All right, what do you got?
Do you have any favorite sports?
Yeah, well, I like football and basketball in particular. Come on, you don't like football and basketball?
I like football.
Yeah, not so much basketball?
My first sport is baseball, then it's football, then
Then
it's
foot-
football, then
Okay.
it's basketball.
Okay, all right, that's good. As long as you guys are playing something, right? Who haven't I called on in a while? I haven't called on you. You look very comfortable back there in those bean bags. No, that's okay. That's okay. Do you feel? What's your question? You like basketball too? Excellent. Good. Go ahead, pal.
My favorite sport is soccer.
It's soccer. Yeah. Do you play a lot? Yeah. Excellent. Okay. All right. Who haven't I called on? Go ahead. I haven't called on you in a
I
while.
played soccer with him in my school program.
No kidding. How was the school program? Is it very competitive?
Yes.
Yeah. You guys play real hard.
It's in Denison.
Oh, it's at Denison. Okay. Yeah. And so how's things at Denison? Pretty good. How many people here go to Denison? Used to? Yeah.
I live near Denison.
You live right near there? Yeah.
I used to live near Denison.
Okay. All right. Excellent.
What is your favorite basketball team and football team?
Well, I like the Celtics, and I like the Patriots.
I like Golden.
Who do you like? Who's your favorite team? Patriots? Okay.
My favorite team is the Panthers.
The Panthers. No kidding. All right.
I like their colors. It's cool.
I like their colors too. They have good colors. They have good colors. All right, back to you, Superman. What's going on?
Actually, tomorrow we're like starting playing baseball.
No kidding. You start, yeah, because it's supposed to snow today, but spring's coming, right? All right, so tell me, let's see. What do I want to know about you guys? What are you guys doing for, I'm looking at the walls. What are you guys doing for reading? What are you guys reading these days? Go ahead, dear. I haven't called on you. Yep.
We do close reading.
Oh, good. Tell me, what's close reading?
Close reading is like, instead of reading, like, because if there's like a long paragraph, we don't want to read it like 3 times, so we usually like use those for understanding the stories.
Yep.
And up there, the star is for important information. The line is for key details and key words, and the check marks for understanding. The circle is information.
Mm-hmm.
And the question mark is I don't understand, and the exclamation point is for excited or surprised, and that one's for make a connection.
It's like a sideways A.
Oh, I get it. I get it. Oh, that's excellent. Well, listen, you guys have taught me a lot today. This was a lot of fun. I think so when you read a good book, don't you feel like going out and reading another good book?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, so when I was older than you guys, when I was in 7th grade, my mother took me to a bookstore. There used to be a bookstore downtown called Salt Marshes. And it used to be located where the Family Dollar store is now, downtown on Purchase Street. We went in there, and I wasn't a big reader, but I saw a book that I liked, and it was a book based on the movie Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. You ever heard of Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yes.
So that's sort of the next movie in the series. And I asked her if I could get it. And so she bought it for me. And then I liked reading it so much that I picked up the next book. I started going to the library and so I could read some more, and I read some more and read some more. And that summer, I got into reading so much I read 30 books that summer, and I've never looked back. I still read a lot today, even though my job is really busy. I still read so I can learn and I can know more about the world. And so it's really important to to enjoy yourself. And you know what's good about reading? You don't have to worry. As important as it is to read certain things in school, you get to pick on your own. So like the summer, or when you're on vacation in April, you get to, or are you guys in school in April? You guys,
No, we have
Yeah,
April vacation.
Yeah, you guys have April vacation. But, pick up a book, find a book to read, because it'll give you a chance to have a little bit of fun and learn something you didn't know before and see the wider world. So getting into the habit of reading is a big thing, and I can tell you guys are into it too, because just by the way you reacted to this book. So anyway, so I really appreciate your inviting me to be here today. I had lots of fun. I hope you guys had some fun too. So anyway, all right, keep working hard, guys, okay? All right, I know you're going to work hard. I can tell. You guys are eager beavers, which is a good thing. All right, have a good weekend, everyone.
You too.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys.
No, thank you.
Yeah, you bet.